Okay, so like I say, we go to the next cage up from the E with the long pattern, looking at it in short form. We go to the D cage. The fourth of the D shape of what we just played is the G shape, and there it is, the big double note on that D shape, on that G shape. So that's good. So from the E here, we would be playing the fourth in the key of C. Big long chord for me down here. Okay, let's move along. Now we're trusting we're not really losing anything here. We're playing the next long pattern up. And by the way, you know you can always interleave the other patterns. Once we learn them individually, we'll learn how they fit. In other words, let's look at the C. We've got C. If we don't want any interference, the next shape up is going to be a fifth up from C is the G shape, which is going to start on the sixth, not on the fifth, because the fifth would be the caged A shape that shares that fifth. So here's your C string shape, here's your A string shape, here's your G string shape. Okay, when we go from C to the A string shape, we've got like this, borderline neighbors. Why borderline neighbors? Because the A string shape is also going to have, the G string shape is also going to have this 7. So this 7 says this is my G shape property here because of this 7 here. So the C goes and then so there's still an exit, there's still bookend isolation between that E string shape that's on that third string from the top and the A string shape on that third string from the top. There's still bookend isolation. But if we look at these three notes, that's that shape in between that we're not showing here. Right now we're just trying to learn the patterns individually. Then we'll learn how to go like this with them. You know? But it still works doing them in fourth. So we're doing them in fourth. Did we do the A pattern? Oh, we did the E pattern. Let's do the A pattern, a full X3 XL, and then we just go right into an S4L. We're going to play it right off the board. It's easy. Let's do it. Here's the A shape C. Warp. Bop, bop, bop. That's it. Let's so notice the big long fret nut that kind of has the S3 XLs kind of in one bar jail there, because the fret nut is important to be seen at that point. Let's look at the D shape. I've got my D shape down here. The long patterns always start on the bar, the finger bar. So here's the finger bar. Alright. If I had to use my fret nut, I'd have to do that in a D-shaped B flat. Okay, because when you have a C, E-shaped C, you're going to have a D-shaped B flat there, and it's in the key F, right? So here's C is the fifth. It actually is tuned to key of C as the dominant fifth, right? So it's in the key of F. When I put the C right here, it's actually in the key of F. Okay, so that luckily that was the dominant there. All right, so we're doing the D shape. It's going to be right here. Now I want you to see this. Is a little hard to see here. This is the because this is just for the lesson here. we've got, this is the fretboard underneath it, okay? This is the fretboard underneath it. These we can mask out. Notice they're mostly labels, so we're going to mask them out anyway because we pretty much trust them. We just want to learn this. You know, the question was, if you go up in fifth shapes like that, are you covering all notes? Are these all no plays and all that stuff? And that's just a subject for a different subject. That's not what we're focusing on. How to learn how to play these right here. We know that what we got when you got two long patterns like this, if you can bend your fingers like that, you got one in between, or here or here. They're gonna be in fourth though. So let's look at this. The D shape is special. We start with a D shape, a single string shape on the bottom, then we go into a full X3L up there, and then we go into a warped over partial bottom S4L. So remember, that's going to be 2 frets over. Okay, so here's our D shape. Here's our S3XL. Let's have some fun. Now, where I would normally see that S3XL would be, if this was an S3L, it'd be right there. But the S4L from the 5/6, okay, let's try that one more time with the D. 5/6. Okay, then we're going into that S4L. Alright, so it didn't go over as far as we thought it would go. And the reason for that is that we have the tuning warp. Now, I had a problem with this when I made the chart, and I found out, no, don't worry about it. It's right, because this is just a pattern, okay? And the patterns aren't strictly drawn with the warp. So if you see a pattern going into a warp, such as this one right here, okay, you know, I'm not going to draw the pattern like this. I'm not going to draw the pattern on the chart like this. You're not going to, I've done this in the past. It doesn't work out very well trying to illustrate that so accurately. So therefore, over here in the D shape, we might see a little problem. I'll look at this later, but this is the way it is. So because of the tuning warp, you know, because the pattern itself, okay, which is an S4L, which is right here. Now keep in mind, the S4L is a brick wall pattern. 7 root 2 3 4 6 7 root. We look up on the top there, we've got an S4L, a brick wall pattern. But how does that S4L sit on top of the S3XL? Then we look at this diagram here. Here's our S3XL, and here's the G right here. Here's how she sits on top right here. Okay, so this agrees with the pattern, because remember, 6 goes to 7 with an accidental in between. So that's why we have 6 going to 7 over here. So that's right. I told you, it's usually right. I had a problem with this. I found out it had to be right. So that's our D pattern, and our G pattern is the last one we're going to take. And that's the top part of an S. Now remember, the G pattern in the short pattern is like this. It's a big old S5L. The G is going to be warp, G string shape on top. Now we're going to start on that 6. Alright, so here's our G, G shape C. Okay, now we're going to start on that 6. We're going to play the top of an S4L and then go into a full S3XL. Okay, now G shape goes to the E shape. Next up on top is the single E shape, string shape. Hey, this has been a great lesson. We'll have more on the subject and things. Put the URL together if you want to access the Facebook before it even gets uploaded to YouTube. And thanks for watching. You've been a great audience.